The last thing I wanted to talk about before I swapped was...
Hey guys, Majin Obama here, and today
Enough
I want to talk a little bit about, I've been feeling a particular way lately because fighting game community, the C is supposed to stand for community, but these days I feel like more and more, I feel like it stands for consumer. Bro, expected is going to be very like
I need more money.
Coded. I am over the
Fighting
season pass format. Traditionally, you have to understand with fighting games, the way it used to work was whenever the publishers and developers would have a new version of the game that would include a patch, it would include new characters usually, that was the expectation, right out the box, right? And so you'd have to rebuy the game, usually at a lower price than the original purchase. And of course, like, fewer and fewer people would rebuy over time. But I'll tell you, compared to the format that we have now, this like hybrid early access games as a service, free to play, weirdly like free to play. I don't even know what it is now. The other day on stream, I looked at every fighting game that is on the EVO lineup this year, and we looked at just like the initial jump in cost, right?
Look at all that money, chat. Look at all that money. If I want Street Fighter 6 and all the DLC, I gotta pay $90, which actually is not that bad. Pay $90 to get Throw Loop. The cheapest game here is Virtual Fighter. But that game's old. That game's super old. Hey YouTube, glad you've been enjoying all the videos I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as like and share the video. Dragon Ball has like so much DLC. That's where I'm kind of thinking all this money's coming from. But the DLC for Dragon Ball is never gonna drop. The Invincible director was just telling people everyone should play fighting games. Well, like I said, fighting games to me are expensive. I get it. Like everyone don't got, $135. And this is after, cause even for me, base Street Fighter 6 was like $60, $70. First season pass is $40. Second season pass is $40. Third season pass is $40. I bought a Manon costume. Actually, I bought two Manon costumes. So that's the extra $5. So that's $190. And then I think I bought the HUD differences. So that's like $192, $194. Even for Tekken, I think I bought the Super Mega Edition for Tekken, because I have Eddie and Hiachi and all of them. I have the first season pass.
Most people operate, you give them $70. They're not gonna say like, oh, this is a fighting game, this is a game. They're just gonna be, they just see games.
Yeah, and other games are like, yo, here's $70. Play your video game. I bought Metaphor. Metaphor was just $60. I don't gotta pay extra money for anything in Metaphor. I don't even think Metaphor has DLC. Same with Persona. I bought Persona. I just have Persona. For fighting games, if you want to try out the other characters, I get scammed. I think the problem with dropping a Giga roster is, I think it's better, but then balancing gets out of whack. And people don't like when the balancing is bad. If there's a Giga roster and say there's like 40 characters in the roster and there's like 6 good characters, then people will get rubbed the wrong way. Like Marvel 2. I always bring up Marvel 2. I think a lot of people glaze the fuck out of Marvel 2. But in reality, Marvel 2 got like 8 characters. Marvel 2 has like technically like 50 something characters, but there's like 8 characters in reality if you actually want to play the game. That's why I kind of praise Marvel 3 a bit more than Marvel 2. Marvel 2 has more characters than Marvel 3, but like competitively, at least for Marvel 3, you'll probably see like 15 to 20 characters versus, Marvel 2, you see like the same 8. That's why I think 6 does it well, and that's why I think a lot of people like 6. I think some people are oblivious to a lot of the characters doing the same thing, because I think people will say, Juri and Mai are different characters, but when I see Juri and Mai, I see them doing practically the same thing. Viper's just Akuma, but nobody's ready for that conversation. I do think Viper actually has a very simplistic game plan that people don't talk about enough. It's just Viper doesn't have a reversal. But Viper's gameplay really is the same. It would be a better solution, do an MK 9, 10, 11, and just add variations. Variations are cool, but I do think MK10, and funny, because I was saying this yesterday, I do think MK10 is like a top 5 fighting game, in my opinion, because the variations are actually really cool. But that game did have a lot of jank shit.
I think that they have enough tools and there are enough creative ways that they could tackle this to where that would not be a huge issue nowadays. This is like, I think the point with the most merit, in my opinion. But I just think that there's probably ways that they can get around this now. Second point, I have to rebuy the game. The reason why I wanted to look up the price point for all of those titles, the modern fighting games and their packages now, is even though those packages are way more robust, right? The net play quality is way higher. Some games, depending on the title, is going to have a lot more content, packed into it. Because of the season pass model, you end up having to spend the same amount of money anyway in a lot of these cases. So the thing is, you're like, I have to rebuy the game. My point is, you're already rebuying the game, basically. And to be fair, there are a few of these games where, like, they'll do, like, year 2, year 3 repackaging, soft repackaging, where they'll have, like, 2 or 3 seasons worth of character DLC kind of retrofitted into the base cost. But when they do these soft re-releases, like, for example, like a Legend Edition or a Deluxe Edition, it doesn't feel impactful. It's not a new SKU. It doesn't get reintroduced into mainstream gaming news outlets or anything like that. It's just...
They did that for Street Fighter 5, what was it, Arcade Edition? But, you know, Street Fighter 5 was bad, so they kind of had to repackage. But it didn't get, like, re-skewed to the main general gaming audience, because, you know, everyone still thinks Street Fighter 5 is dog. They did that for 5. They didn't really do that for 6, right? We haven't had a new edition yet. Actually, Street Fighter 5 had Champion Edition as well, right? Weird point, because you are paying for this game that's being supported for like 5 to 6 years, though. In older titles, you just purchased one version and that was it. I guess you can squeeze more out of the one version. I do think a lot of older fighting games are also pretty bad that people just don't bring up. There are a few ones that have like a lot of depth, like Marvel 2, Third Strike, whatever. Nowadays, like, games get supported much longer because there's way more patches. But even if there was like a big patch a year, I think more people would like that. Like Marvel 3, for example, vanilla Marvel 3 and Ultimate is still a huge jump. And that's only 9 months apart. Vanilla Marvel 3 and Ultimate play nothing alike.
Other SKU on Steam. The other point, they only added new characters. I don't know why people thought this. A lot of these new version ups had balance patches built into them, and along with the new characters right out the box. The last one, which one do I buy? So obviously this is more targeted towards like French
Marvel 3
titles,
is
Arc System Works titles. They got, you know, you got Blaze Blue Central Fiction, Continuum Shift, Chrono Phantasma. Which one?
I don't even know half of these games. All I know is Central Fiction and Cross.
Do I get? Here's the thing, bro. Use Google, bro. Look at YouTube. It's so obvious. And to be fair, I think nowadays there's probably something.
I don't think I've heard some people talk about visuals in fighting games, but now I'm starting to think people just don't look with their eye. I've seen some people say Invincible looks better than 2XKO, and I'm like, bro, I get it. Like, everyone's entitled to their opinion. 2XKO looks better than Invincible. I really don't think Invincible visually looks that good. You could say, you know, Invincible has better gameplay, sure, but visually, like, what are we looking at? Visuals are so weird because people say a game looks ugly, and I'm like, how? I don't understand how this game looks ugly. Or this game looks better than that game. Yeah, I'm not even talking about gameplay, but like visually, 2XKO looks way better. That's one of the reasons I don't like Invincible. I think Invincible is just ugly. Gameplay versus visuals. Well, I think people care more about visual. So don't think people care about visuals, because I feel like people have been praising Invincible, and I don't think it's the prettiest game. But I think the Invincible IP is going to carry. Killer Instinct 2013 looks better than Invincible. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like 2010s fighting games that look better than Invincible. I don't think City of Wolves is ugly, but I don't think it's the prettiest game. I think Tokon looks very good, but the anime aesthetic is very off-putting for a lot of people too. I know a lot of my non-fighting games don't like the whole anime aesthetic, so they don't really care for like Tokons or the Strives or, you know, the Blaze Blue. So that's fine too.
It's more obvious. There are ways I think that they could problem solve for this. But bro, in the end, here's what I come down to. They want to focus on this drip-fed subscription base. That's just the way commerce is now. And the packages are much better. But to be honest with you, man, the season pass format for fighting games, the greatest offense to me is it's not hype anymore, man. It's not hype. I know I sound old. I'm complaining about like an obsolete format. I would rather rebuy the game at a slightly cheaper price point with 2 or 3 characters right out the box than do this season pass dance every year. I don't feel like a player. I feel like a consumer. I feel like in the end, I boot up my fighting game and I end up looking towards new content for that game the same way I was looking forward to X-Men 97 Season 2. And I don't like that. I don't like that feeling at all. I miss when a Rev 1 drops. You go buy the game and you know right out the bat, boom, they had these characters right from jump. New balance patch, new music, all that stuff. I miss that. I miss the feeling that came with that. The anticipation building towards that. Now it's just like, oh, they're going to have another season. Okay, let's watch. Cool, here's the patch notes drop. Wait some time. Now the new character drop. Now we're in the new character cycle. Is this character broken? No? Okay, how strong are they? Are they meta defining? No, who cares? Next.
Yo, true. That really is a real thing. Because that happens in 6 all the time. Favorite fruit? It's funny too, because yeah, what Majin Obama said is kind of true. Like, the DLC cycle is so bad because it really is like, character comes out. Is this character good? Yeah. Okay, well, everyone picks up this character. Is this character good? Not good? Okay, well, everyone dropped the character in like a week or 2. I don't even see Alex anymore. The only person I know who's been playing Alex still is Strider, right? I guess Nemo, but Nemo don't play this game.
It's boring. It's so predictable now. I would rather them try to find some kind of hybrid model to where
maybe Problem X. I haven't seen
launch the game. This gets mainstream outlets talking
I haven't seen
about
too
it
much
again
Problem
in
X
some way,
outlet.
but being able to kind of reimagine the package through that, I just think the season pass model is just not hype anymore. I think it as an experiment, I get it, it's not that hype, and I get that cost to publishers, it's probably cheaper in the end to do it this way. But I'm just saying, man, I can't get hyped to this. It's really hard to get hyped to in this way, in my opinion. And the other thing too is the elephant in the background is, okay, well, what about free to play? To me, I don't think that a free-to-play fighting game in that way can't work. I think it could, but I think where we are now, it won't. You're not going to get better chances than what you had with Multiverses and Warner Brothers. You're not going to get a better chance than what you had with Riot and Project L. I don't know who comes along, what company would you want to even to come along and have the kind of investments in that format and in that kind of idea that you had with these games as case studies. And when I think about just where we are in terms of the hype cycle.
Not wrong, but if you release a game like you used to, people get bored and it's cooked regardless. I don't think you could put out a game the way people used to make games in the early 2000s. Your game will just die. I feel like all these games nowadays are trying to do live service, and a lot of games fail with live service. Marathon just came out, and I feel like Marathon did bad because it was trying to be a live service when it couldn't be. Yeah, Overwatch. It probably would be like Overwatch. There are so many people who are big on single-player fighting games. I only know this because every time I look at YouTube comments, everyone blasts me for saying, you're stupid for not playing single-player fighting game content. Do you need better live service? I don't think any game's gonna get good live service unless you do Fortnite. Fortnite's the only one I've seen actually make it work because Fortnite would get an update every 2 weeks essentially. Oh, and Marvel Rival. But that game also did it well. You would get an update every 2 weeks. They put in more skins for Marvel Rivals. They just put in a Deadpool maid outfit.
Bro, I want them to do an inspired repackaging of the game. Like I said, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising probably comes the closest to what I'm talking about. But even then, I think aside from the mechanics issues that game has with its relaunch, I think overall it came out relatively positive, right? Anyway, am I just an old guy shouting at the stars, or do y'all feel me on this? Let me know what you guys think. Am I old, or are y'all still about this? Real quick too, I gotta give again. I'm gonna take any moment you give me. I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I don't care what y'all got to say. Special shout outs to, again, Type Lumina, bro. Y'all do y'all's best to ignore this game. If you're going to speak on the genre and if you're going to speak on the industry, if you're going to focus on the top games that do this kind of stuff, you got to focus on the games that do it right too, man. When it goes on sale, you can get it for under 20 bucks. Has all of its DLC is free. That's all I got to say. But I'm going to catch y'all next time.
You know what other game has free DLC? City of the Wolves.